you want help, I'm here. Meeting you was the best thing that's ever happened to me. Good. Anytime you want to talk about our relationship, just let me know. God knows you've done...
Weston needs to get his brother focused on food production instead of wasting time brewing.
There wouldn't be a settled systems without the Trade Authority. Next time our friend comes in, we'd really appreciate the expedited customs treatment.
There's a lot of heat from last time. I'm not sure if we can...
Double rate.
Listen, I'm no use to anyone if I'm, you know...
Triple.
Damn it. All right. I'll make it happen. Never ever go outside the city walls after sundown. Ashta are more aggressive at night.
Listen, no offense, but I'm swamped.
This is murder!
want to be my own boss.
But list? That's like walking a tightrope without a safety net.
I come from a line of farmers. Good ones, too. I just need a patch of land, the right lady, and we could make a good life.
And what if a spacer comes along? The Rangers won't help you out of three-star space.
I've been practicing at the firing range. I can hold my
They have these jetpacks for a reason, you know.
There are some moons or planets where... Magic.
This place sure beats living under the boot.
You can't catch me! I'm gonna be a soccer star one day.
I feel sorry. He'd be a lot better if he practiced like me.
That bank robbery sounded intense. Could have gone down so much worse.
You're carrying too many odds and ends.
I've already contacted List.
Better jobs for the trader.
So, Henry's new batch. How'd it go over?
I know you like Henry, but...
What? There's something wrong?
Sam said it tasted off. Really off. Gladys said it was fine. Then she dumped her whole glass on the floor when she thought I wasn't looking.
No.
I don't think we should carry Henry's stuff anymore. Our regulars have stopped ordering his old stuff too.
I'll break the news to Henry.
Kate, hold up!
So, Henry's new batch. How'd it go over?
I know you like Henry.
Late
but-
one night, Annie Wilcox
What?
tried to
There's
arrest me
something
for
wrong?
public indecency.
Hello?
If you ever find an old earth printing of City of God, I have been looking for it for ages.
I'm gonna eat it until later, and Chipotle, if you save it, it doesn't taste good. Alright, I'll just take chicken shawarma back.
Nobody's allowed outside the city walls after night.
Alright, bye. Hello.
We should ask Sam about Akila sometime. He has some pretty amazing stories to tell.
Successful businesses in the Freestar Collective. But I still think we only use robots for farm.
Something happened to Henry's beer?
That's terrible. So terrible. But I'm sure I know nothing about it. Here's some credits for delivering the news. I expect that's the last I'll be seeing of you.
We need to be smarter, better in the way we handle the Ashta. Hey, how have you been? Staying out of trouble? Didn't I say it was all for a good cause? Things here have been, well, they're better. The ice has thawed a bit between me and Davis. We'll probably never be friends, but at least we're on speaking terms now. I think he finally appreciates the value of my research. I know. I think we both realize that, and we're working on putting it behind us. In fact, speaking of Davis, I have to confess, I'm a little worried about him. In analyzing the recent data, I've isolated readings suggesting that someone is making patrols far more often than in the recent past. I don't have any direct evidence, but I know it's Davis. It's gotta be. I'm worried that everything I've inadvertently put him through is kinda, I don't know, pushed him over the edge, or at least a little too close to it. I'd like to think so, but the data doesn't support that. There's a marked difference in his behavior. I'm better with statistics and circuits than I am with people. I've already made a mess of this situation. Do you think you could go speak to him? If nothing else, it would ease my conscience.
We need to be smarter.
Ashta sometimes spotted.
I can't believe Bailey did such a bonehead move. Oh, brother. Why is it every time I see your face, I bet a headache's gonna follow shortly after? Maybe I will. Let's see where this goes. So what can I do for you? Right to the point then. That woman, I swear. Even though we've smoothed over most of the rough spots, she still manages to strike a nerve without even trying. No, I know she's not. Might not have believed it when she first showed up in the town, but she's been honest and on the level. When we were out there and we found that robot, obviously that threw me for a loop. Still can't believe one of my own people will pull a stunt like that, endangering us all. But the more I thought about it, that whole episode doesn't account for some of the tracks I saw out there. Too large, too spread out. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. If there's a bigger Ashta out there, something meaner than what we've seen so far, I have to know. I tell you what, if you and Kiona are worried, why don't you just come with me then? Either I get an extra gun in the fight, or you get to laugh at the old man and say, I told you so. I'll give you a chance to gear up if you need it. And, maybe grab the biggest gun you got, just in case. All right. You know, Kioni showed me her data. She's a clever kid. She's got a lot of things figured out. I think we can make some real improvements in the future. She had a couple sets of data that she thought were erroneous or something. But it seems to me that it might not be. Bigger, faster, Ashta sounds like it matches up with the tracks I've seen. But, I tell you, I'm hoping she's right. It's just a glitch. And, tell her I say that. Let's head this way. I remember a story from the first time I was here on Akila. I had totally forgotten about it till recently. Every so often, we get independent types who think that they can succeed where everyone else has failed. Some of them stride off into the wilderness, certain that they're going to make more credits than anyone in history. Mining, botany stuff, whatever. Warners just don't get through to them. Most of them don't come back. But this one time, miner from some corporation or other, he drags himself back into the city bloody and half dead. Claims he seen an Ashta big as a house out there. The older guys all said he was delirious. And me, well, I was new as anything and just listened to him. Now, though, I'm wondering if maybe it wasn't just blood loss and heat stroke. Maybe he really did see something. Maybe I should have come out here a long time ago. Shit, that's gotta be it. No matter what happens, you make it back to the city and tell them about this. You hear me? That's one big son of a bitch!
Any clue how irresponsible you're acting right now?
I didn't think we were gonna make it through that. If you hadn't been with me, no way I'd be standing right now.
There's no way we could allow that to happen.
You are something else, you know that? We got out alive this one time. That's good. This ain't gonna be the last time we have to deal with this. Now that we know these things are out here, we need to track them and keep them out of populated areas. And that plan is gonna need everybody. So, I'm gonna swallow my pride a bit here and ask you to go tell Keone what we found. Let her know that her data wasn't an error and that she needs to focus on it. Looks like I can still learn a thing or two. Thanks again for saving my ass. That was the granddad of all Ashta there. I mean, you hear the stories in Aggies, but Ashta alphas are real, and we got the corpse to prove it.
Something to report?
Davis should be more careful. The data shows the Ashta are more active. So, what happened? Really? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't trust it. You know, I was really hitting a point where I was starting to think maybe this was all a mistake. That I stuck my nose into something I shouldn't have. Davis was so certain they had everything under control that they didn't want or need my help. But they did, didn't they? Yes, you're right. I need to reevaluate all the existing data. Who knows what else we can get out of it? I need to get to work on this immediately. But while I've been sitting around, I whipped up a little something for you. I thought it was funny. Now that I'm giving it to you, I'm hoping it's not in really poor taste. Anyway, thank you. Again.
some work done?
I asked my boss what they're doing to stop new alien attacks on the...
Look who's back. You got something quick? Kinda busy at the moment. Orlace. Doesn't ring a bell. Anything you can tell me about him? A man? Living around Etheria. The gas giant. Only one ship like that I know of. Never docks. Doesn't respond to hails. They call it the Warlock. Maybe this Orlace of yours is the one piloting it. I can give you the coordinates to its last sighted location if you want. Just, well, you'll need to be careful. That part of Etheria's sky is an old debris field. Plenty dangerous. More than a few scrappers heading out never came back. Things you should know? The den's not really that kind of place. This is a quiet assignment. Keep an eye out for pirates, make sure smuggling's kept to a minimum, occasional rescue job out in the debris fields. Otherwise, it's mostly long haulers and staying ready for the day the Collective wants another round, or House Varun comes back in force. I honestly thought it was just a story board haulers told each other to keep themselves amused. Pretty surprised to find out he has a name. Like, finding out the Grim Reaper's named Mitch or something. Huh. Makes you wonder, though. Ships have been disappearing in those fields for years. Going theory on why was a combination of old ordnance and Etheria's gravity disappearing them. But maybe someone's been helping them over the ledge. Well, the original dense star station was destroyed decades ago during the Serpent's Crusade by marauding House Varun zealots. Big part of the remains from those battles ended up gathering around Etheria, forming a nasty debris field. Every now and then, some headstrong scrapper comes limping back because they hit an 80-year-old mine. Or sometimes they don't come back at all. Sure thing. Here. This should get you pointed in the right direction. Go get your man.
Let's pop into Outland while we're here and see if Joe has...
Welcome back, Captain. You have some news for me regarding Dr. Olays. So he didn't come quietly then, as I suspected. I presume you have evidence of this. I'd say it'd be a waste of your and Hadrian's time to have to track down the research team on your own. Surely you found something. Excellent. Please, deposit it in the transfer system.
Transfer accepted.
Would you look at that? Kept it all these years. Some simply couldn't let go of that old world. This is fine work, Captain. I can ensure the remaining team members find their way to the Red Devil's headquarters. Except for one. That one you'll need to collect yourself. His name is Kaiser. You can find him on the Freestar world of Nira, wandering the battlefield there. The area was ground zero for Xeno weapon deployments during the war, so I would arm yourself appropriately. And I think you'll want to check in with Hadrian and Dr. Walker before paying it a visit. Kaiser will likely have security protocols you'll need their help to overcome. I dedicated my life to the United Colonies. Every effort of my being to their protection. I even gave them my heirs. Even if my circumstances have changed, my purpose is not. A military Model A, yes. Specifically customized for the needs of the Xeno warfare team during the Colony War. A powerful resource, if you can recover him. You're saving the galaxy, Captain. What tool wouldn't you use to protect it?
original Nova Galactic construction is my guess. Built to stand the test of time.
There must be some. Look at the state of this facility. I wonder why this place was abandoned.
When I accepted the assignment up here, we were told to bring a couple of personal items. Some psychological study said it helped when you're away from Earth this long. I brought my grandmother's old abacus. I would play with it on her lap, and she'd teach me the Russian for all the numbers. She, just got word that she passed. The next shuttle isn't for 3 months, so I won't be able to go to the funeral. Goodbye, babushka. Thank you for teaching me math. It brought me to the moon.
Nova Galactic Project Log.
Although by that logic, they should be running it purely in the vacuum of space. But hey, good marketing material. I've been spending some off hours running some dumb simulations, just because I can. My favorite so far is simulating the sound of every duck on Earth quacking after receiving a piece of bread. You didn't know you wanted a real-time sim of feeding all the ducks, but now you have it. You're welcome, humanity. Jealous? You know, the crew in the shipyard? Building the actual vessels that are gonna travel the stars?
We're literally on a base on the moon.
Oh, come on, Sabina. I'm trying to share my dreams here.
Well, your dreams are always out there and never here where the rest of us live. Can't you just be happy doing your job?
Where's the fun in that?
Nova Galactic Project Log, Principal Engineer Langshu. I admit, this is not the most disciplined team I've ever run. Malcolm keeps stealing computational time on Voltaire and thinks I don't know this. And Sabina's been distracted lately, but won't tell anyone why. I really should demand answers from both of them. But honestly, I'm too preoccupied with this contract. We all are. Despite anything going on in our personal lives, there's something special about what we're building here.
Okay, confession time. Being single on a moon base is the worst. I only get like an hour to use the communication link to Earth every couple of days. And let me tell you, there's long distance dating, and then there's like long distance dating, you know? Oh, hey there, I'm a scientist, steadily employed, willing to take you out for coffee in like 6 months when I'm back from space. It's not a great opening line.
You seriously can't get a date? You're an astronaut.
Hey, no one asked you.
Engine spin-up time almost complete. Total time 5 minutes 22 seconds. Right on schedule.
How are the helium-3 valves holding, Nova?
We double-checked the leakage concerns this morning before the launch. All signs green.
Any changes to the calculation sequence from Voltaire?
No changes since we uploaded the last figures yesterday. It's a clean shot from here to Jupiter.
One day the computer will be on board the spaceship. Just imagine that.
One miracle of science at a time, Canaveral. Counting down. 5, 4,
It's amazing to think that we're standing on the same planetary body where humankind first ventured into space.
Canaveral.
We've come a long way since then.
All clear, Nova. Indicators look good. The ship should be cruising Jupiter's orbit right now. Visual confirmation will be possible in 32 minutes. Afraid the speed of light is on the slow side these days.
How does it feel to break the laws of physics, Canaveral?
We're all pretty excited down here in NASA, I won't lie.
Excited enough to tell me where you got the original data?
Not in a million years, Nova.
Unless I'm mistaken, that's one of the launch towers used during the evacuation of the Earth. I can't even imagine the chaos. Likely way into the NASA facility would be via an elevator shaft taking us straight down. Hopefully the system is still in operation. I hope the occupants of this colony ship found alternate transportation to evacuate the Earth before it was too late. Preparation area. Probably the last step before boarding. It's definitely seen better days.
Station log. Dr. Judith Tatian. The recent station log. Dr. Station log. Dr. Judith Tatian. Station log. Dr. Judith Station log. Dr. Judith Tatian. The recent delivery from Mars is unsettling. I was expecting rock samples or maybe fossils of microbial life. Instead, Dr. Victor Isa comes with 2 members of the military. Everything they brought back is under wraps. What could a theoretical physicist need with a sample from Mars? Station log. Dr. Judith Tatian. I've been trying to cozy up to Dr. Isa, Victor, to see what is going on. His team has completely commandeered one of the labs with those 2 military handlers, checking who comes in and out. Station log. Dr. Judith Tatian. I have never been so nervous since I defended my dissertation. 4 hours talking to Victor and his team about theoretical metals, atomic bonding, even a half-hour divergence into magnetism that I'm pretty sure was to throw me off the trail of what we were actually talking about. Then, I got to see the lab. I don't know how much I should say, but the periodic table just got thrown out the window.
from? I just don't understand where these calculations came from.
There's something wrong with the math? I think it's quite straightforward.
That's not what I'm asking. We've had no success extracting even a sample of material from the object. No explanation for the gravitational effect. No motion graph to explain its harmonic frequencies. I can't even establish a melting point.
Judith.
But you've had me building these prototype colliders for months. And now you want me to pump helium-3 into it based on this equation you've written on a goddamn napkin?
I just need you to trust me.
I have been trusting. We keep slamming our heads against the brick walls, getting nothing. And you keep coming up with something new to try. Like, you know what's going to happen. Where are you getting your information, Victor?
I'm sorry, Judith. Look, not here, okay? Somewhere off base. I'll tell you everything. But I'm not lying, okay?
They were clearly testing
We're
space
going
habitat
to
viability
discover
in this
something
area.
important here.
It seems as if they knew the inevitable was on the horizon. Not much left of this geology laboratory. Ironically, the surrounding rock appears to have sealed the fate of this part of the facility. I'm sure he'll be thrilled to find out. I'm sure they had something we knew. Logistics it must have taken to build it this deep underground. It's astonishing.
Project log. Dr. Victor Isa. We turned on the prototype today. The gravitational field around it began to fold as we long suspected. Complete reversal of gravitational pull was observed on dozens of loose objects around the lab. I'm setting up a meeting with the directors to propose a larger test. The prototype proves we don't need the original anymore, but further work is going to have to take place in space. Somewhere with abundant helium-3 and with a civilian partner. Someone with access to large-scale manufacturing resources and computational equipment. Engineering gravitational folds pulling the far side of the solar system closer to us? It's all going to be possible.
Project log. Dr. Judith Tatian. I watched the gravjet test from the moon today. It was the first time we were able to talk to the team at Nova Galactic directly. So many things were under wraps before, but now everyone wants all the publicity they can get. I know they've seen proposals for manufacturing androids of drives, expeditions to Alpha Centauri and beyond. It's also overwhelming.
If there's a way to access the deeper sections of this storage area, I'm certain we'll find it.
Decades before we know what all the side effects of operating a grav drive can be. But no one wants to hear that right now. Like a bunch of pioneers racing towards the edges of the frontier without knowing about the grizzly bears in the mountains.
Don't leave any of that behind.
got to visit your labs back when we were working on the grav drive projects.
Seems like ancient history now. Only thing we're doing these days is launching weather satellites.
Guess this is as good a retirement as any. Now, Project Demeter, you want our help manufacturing scanners to better track these new meteorological patterns we're seeing.
Our guess is that the poles might be naturally shifting, causing some gravitational fluctuations that are throwing off our old models.
Why do you need the scanning tolerances to be so small? What are you trying to find?
I just want to be sure. It's not like we're doing much these days anyway. The glory days are over. Why not give ourselves a challenge before they write us off in the history books?
I know what I'm seeing, Victor. The data coming back from the satellites is very clear. It's the grav drives.
All those jumps from the moon. At this rate, Earth's atmosphere is going to start sputtering out into space.
Can the drives be fixed?
I'm working on some designs that should discreetly solve the problem, under the guise of an emergency update to the fueling pumps.
We're talking about the end of Earth, and you're trying to be subtle about it.
Judith, the last thing we need is people losing faith in grav drive technology. That might be our only option.
To what? Are you seriously saying we should abandon Earth?
The timeline is under 50 years. A blink of an eye for a planet, but more than enough time for a human exodus.
And what do we tell people?
We say it's an act of God, one that science has found a solution for. Time for humanity to take its place in the stars.
You knew, didn't you? You lied to me. All this time, I dedicated my life to this discovery, Victor. And you knew we were going to kill off our planet?
You haven't seen the future I've seen. There's an infinite expanse of promise out there. A meteor could hit Earth, a plague, another world war. Colonizing other galaxies secures humanity's future for all coming generations, across all time.
At the expense of our home.
Stop it, both of you. All that matters is building enough ships to get everyone off this planet. And we need to start now.
I'll draft up a statement. We'll need to address the entire international community. I'm sorry, Judith.
There isn't a planet in this universe that will be far enough away from you, Victor. We are never speaking again after this is over.
My name is Dr. Victor Isa. And if you're listening to this, then you probably already know the truth. I was young when I first headed the retrieval team of an odd gravitational anomaly on Mars. But I kept what really happened that day hidden from everyone except one other person. Even she didn't believe me at first. But I have no reason to lie to anyone now, so I hope you'll accept this confession, whoever you are. When I touched the anomaly, I experienced 12 days of lost time. I met myself. He told me everything that has since come true. The grav drive equations, the tests on the moon, Earth's atmosphere sputtering away because of what we had done. But he also told me about a city thriving on a planet orbiting a distant star. Human culture, art, music, lifestyles evolving and shining brightly across all of space. What price would I be willing to pay for that future? Maybe you don't believe me. Maybe Judith was right and I'm just a coward who wants to believe his mistakes were justified. But everyone has forgotten about the real origins of the grav drive. This artifact from Mars. I hope you make better use of it than I did. My name is Dr. Victor Isa.
I know what I'm seeing.
My name is Dr. Victor Isa. And if you're listening to this, then you probably already know the truth. I was young when I first headed the retrieval team of an odd gravitational anomaly on Mars. But I kept what really happened that day hidden from everyone except one other person. Even she didn't believe me at first. But I have no reason to lie to anyone now, so I hope you'll accept this.
Do you have a death wish or something?
Whoever you are. When I touched the anomaly, I experienced 12 days of lost time. I met myself. He told me everything that has since come true. The grav drive equations, the tests on the moon, Earth's atmosphere, splattering away because of what we had done.
Before us. So, you might have company.
understand now why I asked you to come here? The artifacts unlocked the secret of interstellar travel at the cost of Earth.
An easy trade, honestly. Why have one world when you can have all the settled systems?
Every graph drive in the settled systems was built on technology that came from an artifact that was discovered on Mars. But these early drives shook the gravity field surrounding Earth. Eventually, the atmosphere started to slowly sputter away into space. That is why Earth is uninhabitable. The artifact gave the scientists a greater understanding of time and space, but not the wisdom to see where that would lead.
The settled systems wouldn't exist without the artifacts, in other words. We owe what happened here in NASA a great debt. Assuming we weren't going to lose it anyway. War, disease, famine, all the classics.
Don't you see? The power of the artifact forced humanity to the stars. They didn't get to make a choice. How many would have chosen Earth? What gave Victor Isa the right to choose for them?
You see the hypocrisy in what the emissary is saying, right? They don't want to rob people of their free will, but then they steal the artifacts for themselves.
In the wrong hands, the power of the artifacts can make anyone a tyrant. That's why we watch over them. The only thing you are watching out for is yourself.
Don't be a fool. The emissary and I may have our differences, but you do not want to give us a common enemy.
For once, he is right. Don't do this. We can collect the final pieces together. Thank you.
Well, can't say I didn't try. We'll settle this at the usual place.
The buried temple will be there.
You're lucky I'm a man of my word. I'll see you there.
Stay for a moment. You must have questions about what happens next. We won't be able to go to the buried temple right away. There are still other artifacts out there in the settled systems that haven't been gathered. You'll need to work with your colleagues in Constellation to find them. All the other artifacts need to be gathered before the final one will reveal itself. I'll be bringing mine, the Hunter will be bringing his, and you'll need to bring the rest. All the ones Constellation can find. I will meet you in orbit above the buried temple. We will face what is there together. He and I have made a number of agreements over the years. If you can even call them years at this point. We let him go. In exchange, he will wait at the buried temple. You will be able to prepare any way you can before then. There's always a final artifact in a specific temple. The Hunter and I agreed that whoever you sided with, the other would wait there. Expect anything and everything. Other Starborn, human mercenaries and defenses, alien creatures under mind control. It's all fair game. hell of a city, isn't it? There's nowhere else like it in the galaxy.
I wonder if any discovery reports have come in while we were away.
Hey, I've been talking with the others, and I'd like to get everyone together. To say goodbye. You know, to Andrea. Well, just think about it. If you change your mind, we'll be here. I'll have everything set up in a few days.
Mateo told us about your pilgrim's voyage.
You found it, didn't you? The meaning of unity. What? It can't be.
Our colleague is alive in some alternate dimension? Am I hearing this right?
Let's take a step back. This is everything we've been building towards, and the implications are a lot to take in. Could you explain the part about multiple universes one more time for everyone?
Yes, I wouldn't mind a little more detail.
And that's why the Starborn want the artifacts so desperately. They're the keys to unlocking the infinite.
I don't even want to think about the physiological changes you'd need to travel between universes.
Plus what it would do to the mind? Enlightenment? Or oblivion? Like the Hunter.
You have the opportunity to reach the closest thing to your god that might exist. And you're second-guessing it?
One doesn't approach the afterlife without some trepidation. I suppose it's better that we do it than allow the Starborn to continue this game of theirs unchallenged.
Everyone stay focused. We're still in this to discover the unknown, even if that unknown has just gotten infinitely larger.
Not to make a sharp turn in a grand tale, but I got the eye fixed up. Bruised, but still blinking. Let me know when you're ready to follow up on what it's seen. These last glimpses from the eye are from the farthest fringes of known space. Could be the only remaining pieces outside the hands of the Starborn. Aye. The blackest sea seems less of a concern when there are sharks leaping out at you. Catch a smile out there. Don't mind me. Tip your ear later. Keep coming back to one thing. Both of these Starborn, they're people you know. Only they're not the people you know. Say and do things the folks you know would never. Doesn't bode well for anyone stepping into the Unity. Or through it, or however it works. You consider what it might do to you? Or end up trapped in whatever the Starborn call their life's way. Whatever their differences, they both follow Obsession's guidance. I make the visit when they need me. Don't mind the loner's life most days, and the eye is important work. But I should make the trip more often. Can't let Walter be the only one tending bar there too long. Everyone will forget what a good drink tastes like. Ever run the scholars on the Centaurus Proclamation? The original treaty that gave every human the right to colonize the stars? Stolen by some fool's joke of a Crimson Fleet rook looking to trade names to Captain. Sight to see pinned above my chair, like the whole settled systems was mine for the taking. Time dances its years forward, and I'd retired. That's when our own Sarah Morgan walks into the tale. Fire in her eyes and her head full of intel I thought I had spent a labor's efforts burying. Of course, I didn't have the Centaurus Proclamation just lounging in my pockets. Belonged to the ship and her new captain in the fleet I had left behind. Tipped your ear long enough, but the short line of it, Sarah and I returned the treaty to the rightful owners. And I decided to hang around, lend an old pirate's wisdom to the mission. If you don't want to talk, we don't have to. The eye's showing signs over another one of those big anomalies. Here, catch a smile.
Wouldn't mind burning some helium out in the fringe instead of being here, you know?
Everyone is staying in their rooms a lot more lately. Guess we all need some time to process.
We can pay to fix the damages. You forget how much counter to everything I've said and believed before. I've caught myself wondering if we ever should have started this search. If this is all true, and I have it right, we've potentially started a chain of events that will create more of these Starborn. Or worse, enable the ones we've seen to become even stronger. I am not fond of either of those options. So maybe now we have no choice but to finish this journey before one of them does. Does it even work like that? This is enough to make your head spin. Look, I don't like the idea of siding with either one of these groups. I'd much rather see someone from Constellation get there first. I trust any of us far more than these Starborn.
Home's got a sanctity. Hard to fix once it's broken.
I need everyone looking out for each other during this time. Losses hit a small group like ours especially hard. No matter how... Good. God knows you...
I will be monitoring. Morale in the lodge has been measurably reduced. Human understanding of physics has until now shown no indication that such a thing is possible. And yet, we have now encountered two individuals physiologically identical to unique humans we already know, possessing knowledge and technology that it seems improbable for them to otherwise have. It is indeed possible that they are telling the truth, that this... Practically speaking, it is entirely possible to duplicate. I would recommend speaking to Mr. Stroud.
Sorry. I've been lost in thought for a bit.
Don't worry about me.
There's that empty feeling.
No more Starborn have shown up.
The Freestar Rangers. You did their dirty work and then some. So how'd you feel wearing the badge? I know exactly how you feel. Me, I never cared much for being a ranger. Too many of them try to force the world to be only black and white when it's anything but. Take Ron Hope. I mean, the guy's a legend. Before him, Polvo was a desperate, depressing place. Everything he did was to keep his people employed, to keep Hope Tech standing in a backstabbing world of megacorp politics. He's one of the great Freestar Collective success stories. So, yeah, I might be a fan. Tough call on what to do with Ron Hope. As much fun as it is being a ranger, I hope you can start focusing on Constellation business. There's plenty of mysteries left in the good old Milky Way to discover. When the time's right, I'd appreciate a chat. Of all the places in the galaxy, only Neon can make me feel so damn... oily. And you dealt with its absolute worst. Ryujin, Infinity LTD, all of it. You doing all right? That was a lot. Of course you are. You're tougher than me. How come no matter how advanced society gets, we still just can't help coming up with new horrors to inflict on ourselves? Mechs, Xeno warfare, and now this neuroamp tech. I swear, it's the worst yet. And you just let them keep working on it. And that is why the crazy march of technology presses on. Sure, it could be useful, but at what cost? With a piece of work like Ryujin, I know there isn't a good person to put in charge. But Ularu Chen? She was toying with you the whole damn time. And surely there was someone, anyone better. Burn all the megacorps down. Now that I could get behind. Well, the whole damned affair is over. Thank God. The Lodge is still our home. My junk is now...
to my...
Another deserted Helium-3 facility. The frost is starting to interfere with my instruments.
Space. The blackest sea. Where shall we swim to next? Oh, wise and
Drought-acting ships may be good, but so what? A ridiculous amount of credits was dumped into them. But Hope Tech, that's all Ron Hope. One man with true vision.
I am...
Another successful jump! No, the distance is too far for you, Captain.
Hey, Mayday! This is easy to... Explosion, high energy research lab. Massive damage. Overrun. Requesting emergency evac. Please.
Like touching down on a cloud. Landing skills never cease.
Look.
When you have a minute, I'd like to speak to you. Forgive me for pulling you aside again, but, well, there's so much to process right now. The emissary, the hunter, the unity, an entire multiverse. I can't even begin to wrap my head around it all. I don't know where to begin. The fact that we are the origin of the Starborn. Humans literally reborn by entering the Unity. The same, yet different. It's unbelievable. I feel like most of the knowledge we've amassed in the last few centuries about the universe has just been made obsolete. Oh goodness. Almost every facet of science. Astrophysics, physiology, evolutionism, grav theory, the list goes on and on. There are areas of study that will need to change, and some basic rules of science that will need to be completely blown up and reinvented. It's exciting, but we've made so many mistakes along the way. I worry about the damage we've done to ourselves. We've been pushing further and further outwards from our home, when we should have spent more time being prepared for the consequences. Our current problem relates closely to the nature of humans as a species. This rushed curiosity has led us to enter the Unity and become Starborn. It certainly is. Without curiosity, our motivation to explore would vanish. But in this case, there's a difference between exploring the cosmos and blindly entering the unknown without being prepared for the consequences. Well, look what's happening right now. Here we are, caught in the middle of some sort of needlessly violent crusade between the hunter and the emissary. You'd think that a technologically advanced society would have evolved past petty squabbling over something like the artifacts. It almost makes me wonder if entering the Unity has done them more harm than good. Oh, absolutely. Their arrival in our universe is much too timely to be for any other reason. It's also clear that the need to collect these artifacts are an obsession for them, almost bordering on an addiction. That leads me to wonder what the Unity has done to their minds and their souls. No, that's not it at all. When you pass into whatever lies beyond, we don't know what will become of you. Will you remember your life as you knew it? Will the hunger to collect the artifacts consume your life like it's clearly consumed the Starborn? Of course not. I am, and always will be, an explorer at heart. My concern is how fundamental the change will be to ourselves as people. We don't even know if you'll remember anything about this conversation. I'm worried what that will mean between us. I'm just as curious to find out what's on the other side as well. But that's not the point. As the chair of Constellation, I want all of us to have this opportunity to explore the Unity. It would be the pinnacle exploration of our lives. However, after we enter the Unity, we'll likely evolve. You and I, as we stand here right now, will essentially cease to exist. The honest truth is that, well, you're the love of my life, and I can't bear to lose you. I'm not sure. I'm guessing based on what we've learned. Even if I accompany you into the Unity, the question still remains. Would we know each other anymore? Even if we did, would we care? Part of what I do as chair of Constellation is weigh the costs of our expeditions. And this one, the cost is extremely high. I do love you. That's why this decision is tearing me apart. Listen, I realize nothing that I say is ever going to change your mind or diminish the enticement of this incredible opportunity. All I ask is that you research the facts before you blindly stumble off into the unknown. I don't know if I'm ready to make that leap, but knowing we'd be doing it hand in hand would certainly make it more comforting. Well, I suppose I've ruined the moment again, haven't I? I'm getting quite good at that lately. I'll let you get back to whatever you were doing. Just think what we discussed. I know I will. Zeroing in on anything useful?
business here. What? We haven't sent a distress signal? Nothing on the comms. No other ships in the system since our last supply drop. Look, what are you trying to pull here? Really? The High Energy Research Lab? Alright. I don't know what's going on here, but you should talk with the director. For security, I'm going to have to ask your friend to wait out there. What's inside, stay with me, and don't make any sudden moves. I'll get the door. Welcome to Nishina.
I'll watch things from out here, and you go do what you need to do. Just be careful.
Step forward. Scan is clear. One moment. Attention all. I am declaring a go here. All sections are now on lockdown. Senior staff, protocol, Delta. So, there. Be right with you.
Ethan Hughes, Chief of Security. If you'll follow me, I'll show you to the director. We're a small research station in the middle of nowhere. Pirates eat places like these for lunch. It is my job to make sure that we are not on the menu. Kaya Patel, our administrator and research director. 28 years in quantum particle physics, or so I'm told. It's beyond me. We'll take the back way up. Here, you can see our lovely storage area. Don't touch anything. So, Nishina. What the? Easy! Easy! What the hell was that? What? 1 minute, you're following me, and then you're just gone. Minute later, you pop in out of nowhere looking like you were in the middle of a fight. Taxi? That doesn't make any sense. They're a native species, but we haven't seen any in years. I should have never let you inside. What is this? Some kind of stealth tick? Who are you working for? Look, I don't know what's going on. Let's get you to the director. Maybe she can figure this out. Come on, this way.
Who's there? Oh, thank God. Finally, someone came. The distress signal. You picked up the distress signal, right? Yeah, I know. I wouldn't have made it much longer. It's been so long. I'm out of food, out of water. But I made it. Wait. How did you get in here? I've been locked in here for days. It was all I could do to keep those things out. You're here, but you didn't open any of the doors. So either I'm hallucinating, or... Hughes? Ethan Hughes? But he's dead. No. No. This doesn't make any sense. Unless... the accident. Maybe this is a side effect of the accident. If the probe is still feeding power to the distortion, then... 3 months ago, I was calibrating an experiment in our high-energy research lab. There was an accident. An explosion. It caused a gas leak. Sparked a fire. I was trapped in the control room. There was nothing I could do. They're all dead. An artifact? You mean the metallic ob...
We should... Wait. He's back. All right. We're on our way up. Hughes out. I was just filling in the director. Let's keep moving. If anything happens, the director's office is on the second floor, end of the hall. You can't miss it. This way. Let's go. This way.
Come in. Kaya Patel, Research Director. And this is our Chief Scientist, Maria Hughes. Ethan said you disappeared right in front of him. Twice now? 3 times?
Director, you can't be taking this seriously. Look, I don't know who you are or what you're doing here, but there has to be a rational explanation for all of this. What? You think we know?
We have to start somewhere. Tell us what you've seen. Speculate. Give us something to build on.
What does our research have to do with this?
No, it's fine. Let's start there. This facility and the research level 2 kilometers beneath us were built to study a gravitational distortion. 3 months ago, our chief engineer was calibrating an experimental probe when something went wrong.
We still don't know what happened. There was a series of explosions, and somehow it's still running. That's all we know. Whatever happened, we're completely cut off from the research level. Data feed, network, physical access, everything. That would make sense. That's why the field strength keeps increasing. We have a control unit for the probe. After the accident, I tried to use it to shut down the system, but the kill switch isn't responding. We could shut it off manually, but the entire research level is locked down. We can't even get down there. Not from up here. The explosion fried the network circuits.
Without physical access to the research level, there is little we can do. We have been working in makeshift labs for months. What you see here are just our living quarters. Most of this facility is deep underground. We have a particle accelerator and extensive research and development labs. Or we did.
Excuse me?
That is quite a claim. What makes you think that? Tell us about this other universe. Raphael. Raphael died in the accident. He...
Wait. Gas fire. Gas fire. The leak. Director, there was a hydrogen leak right after the accident. It was contained in a minute or two.
But if it hadn't been, it could well have caused an explosion.
Another universe, though. That's a lot to swallow.
We're not sure.
Raphael was in the lab near the ventilation controls. He could have stopped it.
Maybe he did. Or died trying.
You mean this other Raphael? No. How could we possibly do that?
Raphael was a colleague and a friend. If there was some way to help him, I would. But it does seem unlikely. Presumed dead. As Maria said, the research level is still locked down, so we don't know exactly what happened.
If he survived, he could have ended the lockdown, but... An artifact?
You mean the source of the distortion? You know something about it?
The multiverse. Other universes?
At least one other universe, clearly. And you have some connection with them then. Interesting. I wonder if that's why this is only affecting you. So far, no one else has reported anything unusual. Either it's your prior exposure to these artifacts, or perhaps simply the fact that you're an outsider here. We didn't know. That's why we were researching it. That is science, after all. Fine. And I want this lockdown to end. Perhaps we can help each other. We can't get to the lab, but you might be able to. In this other universe, Raphael survived. He made it back from the lab, so clearly his elevator works. Take it, and you might be able to shut down the experiment.
This is crazy.
But first, we have to do something about your shifting.
We can't shut down the probe, but we might be able to adjust some of the other parameters. It's risky. We don't know what we're dealing with, but... All right. It's worth a try.
Then it sounds like we have a plan.
Come with me. The control unit is in the fabrication lab next door. What have we gotten ourselves into?
it's you. What happened? You disappeared, and the ceiling caved in, and... I thought I'd finally lost it. I'll manage. Look, can we just go? What? How? Look, if you think things are bad up here, the research level is even worse. I barely made it out, and that was months ago. I don't understand any of this. If I hadn't seen you disappear with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed it. Okay. You're my ticket out of here. We'll do this your way. We can get out through the pantry. Here's the key. I'll back you up, I guess. Going to take hours to clear this out, assuming the rest of the building doesn't come down on top of us. I was in the lab, working on the frequency calibration for the probe. I was walking out of the control room when it happened. I heard the tanks rupture. The alarm sound. I only had a second to react. I jumped back into the control room. The doors sealed. I was safe. From the gas, the fire, everything. But I was trapped. There was nothing I could do to stop it. If I had gone the other way, maybe I could have made it to the ventilation controls. Killed the system. Even if it killed me, I don't know. I don't want to think about it. They're a native species. We had an electric pulse field to keep them out. The fire took out the generators, damaged the foundation. They just keep coming. I'm not sure. It might stop whatever's happening to you. It's a reasonable theory, I guess. How should I know? You're the one who keeps winking in and out of existence. I just want to get out of here. Go do whatever you're going to do. I'll see if I can clear a path to the door.
What? Oh, it's you. You realize you just poked into my locked office. So much for security protocols. Sure. Not like it's stopping you anyway. And done. Is there anything else you need? The Cataxi in the other universe. Aha. Wow. I've got an experimental thing one of the engineers put together. But... I can see that. You're starting to make a lot of sense. All right. Yeah. It's never been field tested, but all yours. That's right. Has been since the accident. We can't connect to the control system to override it. The whole system's on a hair trigger,
Cameras spot anyone not in the staff database. They fire off an alarm and all hell breaks loose. Bigger than you'd expect. We've got a particle accelerator, whole lab complex, the high energy research lab. Real state of the art. Can't tell you what a tenth of it actually does. I don't know much personally. Like I said, we haven't seen any around here in years. The original survey team ran across them. You're welcome to read the old logs if you want. Yeah, I'll unlock the terminal for you.
What, did you get lost in the hallway? All right. This is the probe control unit. Most of these controls aren't responding. I'm going to very carefully adjust the settings I can. There's no way to tell what's about to happen. Pay attention and be ready for anything. I'll begin by adjusting the energy feed of the electron beam array. We're at 93 teravolts. Calibrating to 95, 97, 100. Nothing. Let's try the other way. 91, 89. What the? Okay. It looks safe to approach. But what in the world? It's a micro-distortion. Flux pattern matches the distortion in the lab. The setting is just exposing it somehow. Step into the distortion, please. It's possible. That's what I want to test. If that is what's happening, what does that mean? How many of these distortions are there? All around us, all this time, and we've never noticed. I don't know. Look, whatever's going on here, it's not affecting me. You want to call this whole thing off? Fine. Otherwise, step into the field. Nothing. No, hold on. There's a slight pattern change. Some kind of resonance. Right, stay there. Let me turn the feedback up for a moment. Calibrating to 90, 91. What happened? Are you all right? I didn't know what was gonna happen. Look, you made it back alive. Given how little we understand about this, I'd call that a success. So, the lower setting causes the distortions to manifest, and the higher causes you to shift. That seems promising. Keep it on the lower setting until you want to shift, and you should be able to avoid any more accidents. I'd give you my control unit, but it looks like you already have one from the other universe. Love to take a look at that when this is all over. No, we still don't understand what we're dealing with here. If we found something that works, let's not press our luck. You may want to practice shifting just to make sure this works reliably. Closer to the distortion, conditions may be less stable, if that's possible. If you can get down to the research level, you need to make your way to the high energy research lab. Disengage the power interlocks, then pull the emergency shutdown to stop the probe. That should finally put an end to all this. Oh, and before you go, the director wanted to speak with you. It really is just down the hall.
Well then, all set? If you need supplies, I've asked Dr. Barakova to take care of you. It's the least I can do after everything we've put you through. Before you go, there is one other thing we should discuss. If this experiment is the cause of your shifting, when you shut it down, the shifting will stop. What happens then? To you and to us. Exactly. And when you shut down the experiment, the probability function will collapse. You are the outside observer in the system. Whichever reality you are in, at that moment, is what will become real. For you and your universe, at least. The question is, which will you choose? Of course. I don't know. I'm not sure it's possible to know. It may cease to exist. It was one possible universe, but not what actually happened. We or Raphael actually did die months ago. Or it may remain real, just not in your universe. Or in some quantum sense, perhaps you make both choices and both outcomes will be real. Welcome to quantum mechanics. Nothing will change. Nothing can change. If the universe was other than it was, you would not be here to make this choice. What you choose will be what happened in your universe, the universe that brought you to this point. If this were a choice between my life and Raphael's, I would ask you to save him. But as the director of the station, I am responsible for the lives of my staff. 30 people. People with families, careers, futures ahead of them. In this universe. Not that I can see. Have you reached a decision? You don't have to decide now, but when the time comes, please, keep them in mind. Now, it's time you are going. With the network offline, we can't shut down the security system on the research level, so you can expect some resistance. Be careful. Ethan, unlock the elevator lobby, please.
Ma'am, research level is still locked down.
I'm aware of that.
Alright. Done.
Good luck, dear. It's been a fascinating day.
Yes?
Don't touch the
Tatiana Barakova, station's doctor. This is not a public medical facility, but the director has ordered me to assist you nonetheless. I can spare a few med packs. Beyond that, I am not your therapist, your psychologist, or your cosmetologist. If there's anything else you need, ask. Excuse me? Perhaps you'd care to try a dead-end medical post on some god-forsaken planet in the middle of nowhere, huh? 6-year surgical residency. And I spend my days treating paper cuts and hurt feelings for a bunch of mathematicians and physicists. And now I have to deal with some spacer who thinks they're jumping between universes? Spare me. I think I still have a few things I could spare. With what? A splinter? No. Stop wasting my time.
Don't touch it.